Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, I wanted you and I to get together quickly and talk about Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, he's been a very interesting topic over the last several weeks since his fight with Geron Ennis. We saw the episode that he had there with Virgil Ortiz where negotiations fell apart and a lot of fans were critical of Jaron Ennis. They argued that Virgil was the best available opponent and that's who he should have moved up and fought. So he moved from that to looking for the opportunity to unify to Teofimo Lopez, which fans argued, why aren't you trying to unify the titles at that point? And now he's back to Emmantas Stanionis. Now, I want to give Matt from Brunch Boxing some love because this is something that he reported on over the last couple of days. This is what Matt from Brunch Boxing had to say. As we reported Saturday, Boots Ennis and Emmantas Stanionis swapped offers on a bout. The Stanionis offer has been described to me as a better deal. You have to think that with Lopez being taken off the board, the impetus is there for Boots to get this bout over the finish line. And guess what, Jay? There's still criticism of Jaron Boots Ennis in this regard as well. Now, number one, this is what Boots wanted. I'm in agreement with Matt on this one. Boots has to get this done. Eddie has to get this done, or it makes Boots look bad. And there's going to be a set of fans that are going to be critical of Jaron Boots Ennis if he doesn't get this done because he didn't make the Virgil Ortiz fight, right? So that's number one. I wanted to put that out there. I believe Matt is absolutely correct. He is incentivized to get this fight done, even if it's at the expense of giving up a few percentage points or dollars in order to get it done. Because I just believe that the negative press associated with it will be will have a far greater impact on his financials in the future than just giving up a few percentage points today. All right. But here's my issue, Jay. This is the real issue. Now, there's a lot of people that want to get at Boots about this, that, and the third, and I can understand some of the criticisms for sure. I'm not going to absolve Boots from all criticism, right? But there's a certain segment of fans that the criticism is really coming from, and that segment of fans are Terence Crawford fans, right? The ones that are upset that people were interested in seeing a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron Ennis. It was almost like they were upset because Geron Ennis was perceived as a threat. And I don't think it's actually the perception of a threat. I believe they know that he's an actual threat to Terence Crawford. And because of that, they want to do all they can to diminish what the kid is. Right. So first, it's all about winning titles, Jay. It's about championships. What have you done? I've heard this argument. Email champions. You haven't beaten a champion. You haven't beaten a linear champion, right? And then I hear from the same people that Boots should fight Virgil Ortiz, an individual who is not a champion currently, right? Now, I'm not arguing whether or not he should have moved up and fought Virgil Ortiz. Actually, I think he should have. Because I don't really think there's much there for him, even if he wins those titles, right? Because I have a different philosophy. But those of you who have the philosophy that belts is what matter, then you should be arguing that he should stay at 47 to unify. But when he does that, you're critical of him, right? No, the best available opponent is da-da-da-da-da. That's the guy with the name. So then he moves to Teofimo, a guy with a name, a former undisputed champion. And they're arguing that he shouldn't fight Teo. Why are you fighting Teo? Teo's small, he's moving up. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, then he moves back to Stanionis, which would be a unification fight. Then I start to see things about, that's the battle of the email champions. What? Like, which one is it? Either it's about winning the belts or it isn't. The goalposts always move. I'm of the mindset that it's really about who you beat and in combination with what you have achieved, right? So just simply winning titles isn't enough. You need to win titles against people that we know pass that eye test, that we can see are the real deal. So just because you got a bunch of titles, we know that sanctioning bodies and promoters play with rankings all the time. All kind of cats can end up getting titles that shouldn't have titles, that are not great fighters. So it's just amazing to me how these guys continuously change the argument, and move the goalposts. That's what really annoys me, Jay. I'm sorry I went on a bit of a tirade there. But what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I like it as far as Boots, regarding going back to Boots and Stanionis. It's funny with Stanionis though. Stanionis was the one last year and this year saying that he needed some time. Actually, I think once earlier this year saying that he needed at least 2 fights before he wanted to fight Boots because he had been out of the ring for a while. So he was kind of holding. Like, I don't want Boots, but it's like now that Boots is a little vulnerable against Avanesian, against Geron the second fight. Now all of a sudden he's apt to take that fight, which I'm cool with it, because I want to see that fight anyway, and I think it'll be a good fight. I want to see Boots do something recent against someone that we want to see him in the ring with. To your point, Boots has always I will say this, Boots has been steady on one thing. He wants to unify 147. He also said he want to fight. He might be up to 154 as well, but if he can unify, that's his main thing. He wants to be at least unified at 147. And he doesn't like the stigma of being called an email champ. Therefore, he's trying to fight another champion at 147 in Emmantas Stanionis. To Matt's point as well, I think he needs to take this fight, even if he takes less money, because you don't want to have another Brian Norman situation going on again. If they paid Brian Norman the amount of money they wanted, it possibly could have, although Senior said it couldn't happen anyway because of his mandatory with Geron. That had happened no matter what. So they couldn't have fought even if they had paid Norman the money they wanted, based on what Senior said most recently. But he has to make this fight happen. He can't take another fight because Teal's off the list. He's not moving to 154 for Virgil. So this has to be his go-to because it's going to look bad for Boots. Also, Eddie's looking kind of shicey out there too because he's really pushing his other man, Conor Ben, to fight Barrios, who has another title at 147. Why not have Boots set up to fight either Barrios or Stanionis? Not Conor Ben. So where do your interests lie, Eddie? Are you really there for Boots or Ben? Because we've seen this story happen before with Andrade when he was with Eddie. He didn't get nothing over there. He didn't get no fights that Eddie said he was going to get to him and deliver for him. So it doesn't look good with Eddie doing that double dealing with 2 fighters at that weight class and keeping Boots away from what Boots always said he wanted to do, unify at 147. So this fight has to happen. Again, shout out to Matt with Brunch Boxing. They do a damn good job out there with being tapped in. So definitely check them out if y'all can. But Boots got to get this done with Stanionis, man.
Totally agree with that. And I'm sure that they are going to get it done. I can tell that you have a real gripe with Eddie Hearn, man. I don't know why you hate Eddie so much. But you all tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this. I just think Jaron Ennis is getting a raw deal, and it's coming from a certain segment of fans that just want to diminish the kid because they see him as a threat to another fighter. And is there a level of criticism that's warranted? Sure, but not the level of criticism that I've been seeing. Don't change your arguments. Either it's about titles or it's not. If you wanna modify your argument and say, you know what, I have evolved and my argument is now different, that's fine. But you can't shift back and forth, vacillate back and forth between this point of view and this point of view when it fits your narrative. I'm not feeling that. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and we are out.